of Grand Prix San Diego. I'm Brian David Marshall. I'm here with Marshall Sutcliffe, and we're going to be watching Sharfman-Tukeman with blue, white, red control playing against David Sharfman with Escape Shift combo deck. And then while these guys are shuffling up and getting ready, we're just gonna pop across the table and show you the other matchup that's going to be taking place on the back table, and that's a match between Nathan Holiday, who's on your left, against Eric Froelich, platinum player, someone vying for the North American seat in the World Magic Cup in the Players' Championship, playing with the sort of Channel Fireball-y Platinum Players Club.
Yeah, that's a good. I like the way you described that. It's harder to define now.
Yeah. It's a very cross-team effort.
It is.
Come on, 1%. Yes, you're controlling.
So 2 Lotus Blooms for Nathan Holiday on the left have been suspended. Those aren't going to matter for a little while. There are 2 recursion spells for Nate Holiday, so Eric is going to want to...
And it looks like a reshape.
And a reshape as well? Okay.
It looks like it.
Yeah, I don't... Which could allow him to go off a turn sooner than the 2 Lotus Blooms.
Could allow him to try to go off next turn, theoretically, right?
Sure.
You know?
Attention players, will Scott Gearhart please come to the side event stage? Scott Gearhart.
So Liliana of the Veil is going to force both players to discard. And this is another way that Eric can gain an advantage, is by limiting Nathan Holiday's resources through Liliana of the Veil. Eric does have a Dark Confidant in hand.
Okay. Well, these guys will still be here.
Gitaxium Probe.
Oh, it's a Gitaxium Probe, not a reshape. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries.
All right.
Didn't quite see his hand, but we're going to get to our main feature match.
This is what we're here to watch. Sharfman-Tukeman versus David Sharfman. David Sharfman led off.
Well, there's a Sakura Tribe Elder, but it's in the yard, but he only has 2 lands. Oh, that's why. He announced a spell snare. All right, so sometimes the players will announce what they're going to do before they do it. They have to go through some physical motions to get to that point. It's just to expedite things.
And there's a Tectonic Edge for Sharfman-Tukeman.
And like you mentioned in our little pregame there, that can be relevant.
And the turn, he's going to electrolyze, dig for a card.
That's going to get remanded here.
Ooh. He's like, I will dig for a card.
I will take a card, thank you.
And there you see dead card number 1.
Where is
Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict. That's not going
hand.
to do anything. Yep, not game 1. Potentially game 2, but that's only if Sharfman wants that to happen.
And right, these players have to get to play, do that dance of, Sharfman is already out to 5 lands here. Suspend, search for tomorrow.
He's not in a hurry. He's under no pressure right now. No need to get hasty. And there's going to be a Snapcaster on remand.
Wow.
And Sammy's like, I guess I'll put this in my hand since that's what remand does. A couple of paths in hand don't do anything. A Johnny Vengeance, though. Kind of interesting because Sharfman doesn't have too many creatures in the main, but he does have one on board, which could threaten a Johnny Vengeance here.
Sammy, I got play Johnny Vengeance targeting your dice.
Your dice box, and Johnny takes dice when he wants dice, so. And he just forced to Lightning Helix the Snapcaster Mage. But he does now have a Johnny Vengeance on the battlefield.
Right, and it gets him back up to 20.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point, which, the difference between 19 and 18 is huge in this matchup. I do see that Sharfman has a Lightning Bolt, however, so if he wants, he can just take care of a Johnny whenever he feels like it.
He's going to cast and search for tomorrow.
Effectively costs 2 mana once you're up to 3 because it's going to come into play untapped. And he's also got a Farsight. Wow. And this is the kind of thing, when you see a control mirror and one deck can just get this many lands onto the battlefield ahead of the other one, it's so good.
Well, that's what the control matchup's all about,
right? That's what it's all about. Normally you think in terms of hitting your land drops, but in this case it's just like accelerating really hard. So is he going to Lightning Bolt to Johnny, or does he even bother? Let's find out here. I mean, if he lets him keep one of his land taps, it's not really a big deal. But he also figures, well,
Yeah.
you know, the coast is clear, and I don't want to regret leaving.
And
a
he's
John
going to
on the
have
table.
8 lands next turn now for his.
So that he can do Scape Shift plus Cryptic Command or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Sammy has no choice but to pass a turn here. He can't even commit anything to the board on this turn because otherwise David can just be like, Scape Shift.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, are we failing to find here? He's getting quite a few basics. There it is. Might be the only one left, so.
One of the he definitely doesn't want to find a mountain there, right?
Right, he wants to make sure that he has enough mountains to trigger his Valakut. This is not the Prismatic Omen version.
One of the interesting things, I was talking to players yesterday, and it was one of the versions of Scape Shift that was running around, specifically for these kind of control matchups, had quickens.
Oh, yeah.
So, you think about the control matchup, you like go, and your opponent says, okay, at the end of the turn,
Wow.
I'm going to, return something and draw a card with Cryptic Command because or whatever. Or I'm going to think twice, or I'm going to do whatever. And you're like, oh, you know what? Quicken, Scape Shift, kill you.
Yeah, have a response.
I don't think he made day 2, though.
Okay, fair enough.
So I don't know.
So, Sharfman does have the 8 lands
Actually,
that
he
you were
did make
talking
day 2.
about. Oh, nice. And he's deep in the tank here. He has to try to decide what he wants to do, but this is a really favorable position for him as Sharfman-Tukeman really just can't do anything. He's stuck on 4 mana here, and he is just frozen in time as if he ever taps too many mana, Sharfman can just instantly go off. Sharfman is trying to decide if it's worth it to try it here. I'm assuming he has Escape Shift in hand. He doesn't. He just says go. I'm not saying he doesn't have it in hand. He just decides not to go off.
Right, wants maybe to find an Izzet Charm or...
Yeah. So Sammy is considering just like playing a Cryptic to bounce draw or maybe
He
get
still has the Electrolyze, too.
Sure, yeah, get an Electrolyze going. I mean, his hand, he's got 7 cards in hand, so that's not really a big issue, but he doesn't have cards that he wants in his hand.
The posted end time for the round.
Is he holding 2 Supreme Verdicts there?
Posted incorrectly.
He's got 2
So the round will
Cryptics
be ending in 1
Electrolyze,
minute.
and I don't know how many Supreme Verdicts. There's a Path to Exile that's basically dead. All right, it looks like he did decide just to go for the 2 damage. Draws a Lightning Helix, and he did hit a land. It's a Colonnade.
So over on the other semifinal match, our Eggs player is going off against Eric Froelich.
Okay.
His Lotus Bloom's unsuspended, and
He's making a go of it. All
he's
right.
gonna see what happens.
So David Sharfman's thinking. I believe it's Sammy's end step here.
No, Sammy's end step.
Sharfman could be aggressive and bounce a blue source with a Cryptic Command here on end step.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I mean, it would set him back a land drop, and also it just drastically reduces the number of ways that Sammy can interact with him. It takes Cryptic off the table. Can also just counter a Cryptic Command if that's what he's really worried about. All right, so it was actually during his main phase. He plays Valakut the Molten Pinnacle and just ships a turn back. Now, Sammy can use Tectonic Edge to kill it here if he
Super
wants.
Series Standard players, that is time. Super Series, that is time.
And it looks like he's just going to go for a Lightning Helix to the face here. And that puts Sammy up to 23, which is even more of a buffer.
Does he want a Tectonic Edge? But he doesn't want to give up his land either.
That's the problem, is that, Sharfman's like, yeah, whatever, man. Tech edging yourself, too, right? Can't quite see. I'm not sure exactly what Sharfman has in hand. he's got escape shift, and he's being patient and trying to set up the ideal situation. Since he does feel
So
pretty
Tukeman gives
comfortable.
back 2 points of life to play a Sacred Foundry.
Okay. 21 is divisible by 3, so. And it's an island off the top for Sharfman. See if we can't get a look at his hand here. I can't quite see. All right, here it is. He's going for it, tapping all of his mana.
Next round are posted on the J Spanner. Please find your seats. Legacy players, your parents are up.
He's talking, he's making sure that it's known what he's floating as far as mana goes. This is it, though. This is the big turn.
3 and 4.
Does Sammy look nervous? And there's escape shift. It's on the stack. You don't sack the lands as a part of the cost, so that doesn't happen here until it resolves. So it looks like Sammy wants to use his tech edge maybe to take out the Valakut.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay.
All right, so Cryptic Command. Counter what? Counter draw, he says.
Okay.
And it looks like Sharfman just says sure. Does he have another one? He still has mana floating from that initial burst. He does have another one. Is there a mana leak or a remand in hand for Sammy? Sammy does not have that. It looks like he's going to take out the Valakut and just make David Sharfman have what he needs here.
Right, and hope that Sharfman just doesn't have enough mountains left in his
that's
deck.
Right, enough mountains and another Valakut. Remember, Sammy's at 21, so there needs to be 7 activations that go on the stack to kill him. He's going to leave 3 mountains in play. So he can get Valakut, and 4 mountains.
Which is 24.
Which is plenty. So let's just see if he has it. This is a interesting combo deck in that it isn't always like that. Okay, that's 1 Valakut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going to take 15 here. So that was not lethal.
Yeah.
It's going to drop Sammy down to 6, but that lightning helix certainly mattered. He's gained a little bit of life throughout the course. Remember, he also gained life from a Johnny Vengeance earlier. He's gained 6. He would have been at 0.
Right.
So that matters.
He's going to cast Snapcaster Mage and Lightning Helix right now. Or is he going to electrolyze? He's trying to decide.
I said Snapcaster Electrolyze.
Okay, he said Snapcaster Electrolyze.
I don't really want to win that anyways.
He verbalized Electrolyze. That isn't actually what he wanted to do, but he
Oh,
said,
no.
I saw it, yeah.
So I said Snapcaster Electrolyze pointed to the helix. So do I still have to be Electrolyze?
You guys can hear what he's
What
saying.
mana did you tap for it?
Well, originally I tapped this, but I said
You tapped 2 mana and played Snapcaster. I don't like this. You didn't tap 1 mana. Huh?
What happened?
I know. You tapped
All right,
2
so
mana.
what they're asking him what mana he tapped.
What did you do?
I said tapped 2 mana, said Snapcaster Electrolyze, but I didn't tap
I
mana.
didn't win 1
Okay, if you said Snapcaster Electrolyze, then you chose Electrolyze.
Okay, so the judge confirms that you said Electrolyze, you got to pick Electrolyze. So Electrolyze now
Okay. Yeah,
has flashback.
If you said Electrolyze.
Alright, so it's targeting Electrolyze. Like 3 islands and an egg or something.
Oh, the question is, how do you cast it? And you said Electrolyze you. Did you say that
I
or
said
not?
Snapcaster Electrolyze.
Electrolyze.
Oh, alright. If I said Electrolyze you, then I'll do it.
He's going to flash it, or is he?
He is. So what he was asking was, does he have to now
If you
cast
haven't
it?
already announced it.
So the verbal, what he said was Snapcaster Electrolyze, and he wanted to know if that means that he has to cast it or if it's just been targeted by Snapcaster.
So life
I would
over
say
11.
just targeted, right?
Yeah, normally, but he does in fact cast it here. He draws the Sphinx's Revelation, but he leaves himself completely wide open here.
But he's dead
So,
to like Bolt Mountain.
Bolt Mountain. He's dead to Snapcaster Mage potentially. Like, is there enough mountains
But
left?
he didn't. David had no play.
No play, and he's going to take 2. So Sammy is. Remember, Sammy has a Celestial Colonnade as well. All right,
There's
so
the
that
superb
represents
tri-belter.
half of Sami-Tukeman's life total and a block.
Your bench is ready. The pillar in front of the side event stage.
Is this going to get cryptic?
I believe it is.
Cryptic your Sakura tribal. Although,
Lightning helix.
I wonder how many.
Oh, this time it's Lightning Helix.
He has 10 mountains in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 9. How many does Sharfman have in the deck?
Oh, is the Sharfman out of mountains?
He's got 10. 4 steam vents, 4 stomping ground, 1 mountain,
And
That's
he only has
9.
the 2 Valakits also.
and 2 Valakits. Huh. I mean,
in case you were wondering why he didn't go Valakit,
Yeah.
that's why.
That's
he only
exactly.
plays 2. So Sami-Tukeman's a
All right, he's going to bounce his
own
land with Cryptic Command. Bounce draw, he says. Counter draw, resolves.
Wow.
Sharfman's just stuck with playing a land. He's all the way down to 7 here. Sammy can get him to 1 if he has any type of burn spell. He can kill him. He's going to activate a Colonnade, attack for 6, put you to 1,
And then he's got an Electrolyze.
electrolyze you.
Wow.
Whoa! He should have made
Sammy.
he tapped a Arid Mesa there. He should have made sure that he had something to get with it.
Oh,
I think that's what I saw, but it was lethal. The electrolyze there. And Sami-Tukeman takes game 1. I after Sharfman quotes went off.
Sure, but I mean, again, with only one, the Tectonic Edge was just huge there, with only able to get 1 Valakit.
Yeah.
Wow. What's going on the back table, Rashad? They're shuffling, and we're going to assume Nathan Holiday won game 1.
Who wanted this one?
I can't get a read from Efro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, eggs won game 1.
Yeah, Nathan Holiday is up 1-0 there. And blue, white, red control is up 1 game on Scape Shift.
Wow, game 1 too. It's going to get better for him in game 2.
Right? Maybe.
Theoretically,
Maybe. I mean, again,
there is going to be a bit of a dance here.
what is Sharfman going to bring in?
Mm-hmm.
Sharfman has additional counter magic.
He does.
He has creatures.
He has 2 really, really important forms of counter magic. He has a counter flux, which can't be countered, so it just wins counter wars. And he's got a dispel, which is really easy to fit in. And when you get to dispel a Cryptic Command, it feels really good.
I mean, to some extent, he also has Relic of Progenitus. I mean, if he thinks that, Sammy's just gonna
He's got a negate.
get an advantage on him with flashing back spells and snapcast. I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, my guess is that Sharfman is going to bring in negate, counterflux, dispel. Probably that's it. And he's just.
So you don't think he's going to bring in Wormcoil Engines and Inferno Titan?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, what is he taking out? I mean, the lightning bolts are still okay. He can use them to control planeswalkers, to keep them in check. The Remands are great. The Peer Through Depths, the Is It Charms, the Farseeks are all good. Snapcaster's still good. He's got 2 Fire Spout. He could probably lose those. Otherwise, all of his stuff's good. His deck's pretty well set up here. He can play the long game, the control game, and set up for some huge play a lot better.
Yeah, but now he does have to worry about those tectonic edges.
He does. He's got a lot of things to worry about, and he has had a chance to look at Sami-Tukeman's sideboard, and he saw, I'm sure, those sowing salts sitting there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the sowing salt.
Sowing salt's a big deal. The spell skites are going to matter, and maybe even a card like Batterskull or something. It depends on how Sammy approaches it.
anything that lets Sammy gain a little life.
That's right. Because it honestly, if Sammy plays the early turns such that he doesn't take damage from his lands and stays above 18 and then can get a couple of helixes off, then, he can put himself in a really nice range where he forces Sharfman to really come up with a huge scape shift, like maybe bigger than he could even do. So you guys can see in the background we have our artist signing area. The one with all the people around is Steve Argyle. But there's people at everybody's booth, as you can see.
You see some people camped out.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you said come back later with this 3-foot high stack of lands. It's later, right?
Yeah. There's some original art behind him there as well.
I gotta tell you,
that
I've picked up some nice original art over the years at these shows.
Have you really?
Yeah.
What have you got?
My favorite
what's your
piece.
favorite?
My favorite piece is Deep Analysis,
Oh, that's sweet.
which is hung over my desk at work.
That's awesome.
You know,
Does
picked
it help
up,
you think?
It does. It does. I for his graduation, I picked up Counterbalance for Steve Sadin.
Oh, that is beautiful.
The card he won his Grand Prix with.
Oh, man. That's a nice gift.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. That art is really cool. Oh, they're off to the.
Oh, well,
this is the other match. Let's take a peek here and see. This is a critical early stages. You know, if Efro can get in and disrupt Nathan, he can buy himself a few turns and allow himself to actually get pressure. Although, has Efro done nothing?
He has not.
He must have taken a couple of mulligans here.
You see, he's sitting
He has
on a
no 1 or 2 drop.
Fulminator Mage.
That looks like. I thought I saw Dark Confidant, but he probably just would have played that, so that must not have been what that was. All right, let's see what the plan is here for Efro. All right, Ensep Crack Marsh Flats. Does he have a play here? Maybe bolt you or something? No, nothing. Efro looking to make it to the finals here. Nathan Holiday up a game. Says 0-0, but we're told he's up a game.
And there's Fulminator Mage, and that's going to take out that Ghost Quarter, which is really so essential to, hitting that critical mass and thinning those lands out of
And
his
also
deck.
fixing his colors here. He's got a chromatic star, but he needs lands.
Yeah, he doesn't have
He'll
another
get it
land.
back eventually if he's able to go off, because that will. Oh no, actually he won't. So yeah, that's actually just a pretty big play right there. Got it while it was tapped.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
4 o'clock mini pass will bet. Your pairings are going up on the clock batter. Players in the 4 o'clock mini master bet, your pairings will be up in a few moments on the clock
He
batter.
draws a ley line of sanctity. So awkward.
Complaining to myself.
He is miles away from being able to cast that ley line.
It's just been that kind of week.
Really is a turn 0 play in his deck. Pretty sure he's going to ship that one to the bottom. I don't know about He kept it. I mean, he's got an Elsewhere Flask. If he hits 4 mana, he can cast it. It's just, will it matter by then?
No, he kept a second Sunrise or a Faith's Reward on top.
Oh, okay, good. Okay,
Yeah,
I must have just.
He drew the
Oh,
Line
yeah,
of Sanctity.
right. Okay.
That's in his hand.
Sorry, long day. You'll have to forgive me there. Ooh, did you see what he just drew?
Yeah, another Fulminator Mage.
Yep. So he can use that if we see any more Ghost Quarters that are left unattended. All right. So thanks to shortage of lands, Nathan Holiday has been.
And Eric Froelich flashes out an Aven Mind Sensor at the end of the turn. Says no reshape shenanigans for you right now.
That's right. Thoughtseize you. So let's get out. They're going to start writing stuff down. Yeah, no, that was an Inquisition.
Two ley lines of Sanctity.
2 lanes of Sanctity, so those are just complete blanks basically at this point. But there's also a second Sunrise and 2 Faiths Reward.
Did you just take his Conjurer's Bauble here?
Pairings for the next round are now going up.
Or do you
That's
actually
an interesting question. You could also take Reshape.
But again, the Reshape, because of the Aven Mind Sensor, he's...
Oh, yeah, it doesn't do much. Yeah, you're totally
You know,
right.
he has to specifically hit a...
Did you see Holiday pointed to one of the ley lines?
He's like, I'll let you take both.
Yeah, hey, man.
Make you a deal, 2 for 1. BOGO.
Buy one, get one. So then I guess you take second Sunrise because that's the cheapest of the the ways that
I
Nathan's
might take.
gonna do.
I would take the bobble.
He
yeah.
did take the bobble.
Yeah,
You're right.
I want to keep him from being able to dig for lands
Sure.
right now.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Fulminator Mage is on the beatdown plan.
Yep. And Raging Ravine will be able to start joining the attack force as well.
Now there's a Lotus Bloom for Nathan.
It's
going to be pretty slow here, but it does give him that big land punch later.
He's
but
not going to have enough turns for that. I mean,
I don't know what his life total is. It's not 19.
He sacked a Misty Rain. It's probably 17. Sacked a Misty Rainforest, and he took a hit from an Aven Mind Sensor. I think Ephraim might be able to.
3 p.m.
Well,
standard players, pairings for your next round.
Oh, and we're back on the Sharfman-Tukeman match.
Whoa, they are very well underway.
Yeah,
here.
they've come.
It looks like they've gone land go a lot.
Yep.
All right, there's a dispel for David Sharfman, and hey, there's a target for it. You might cryptic it or something too. I don't know what else he has in his hand. Oh, remand it.
Yeah,
sure.
So frustrating.
Remand is just so aggravating.
I'm not going to target anything.
He's like, sure, get your Search for Tomorrow on.
This is going to be his 8th land. But Sammy has 6 lands, so they've been pretty even on land drops. Sammy has a Surgical Extraction in his hand. And Sphinx's Revelation is just going to get instantly dispelled. Sammy has a Path in his hand. Just must not have been able to find anything else to pull out.
Or maybe he's just
hedging a bit.
He's just respecting the
That's a really good
Worm Coil engine.
That's a really good point, because that is tough for his deck to deal with. Yeah, you're right. Just didn't want to take the chance.
Yeah, he might need to leave like the 2 pieces of spot
especially
removal in.
that good, right?
Yeah.
Like Path to Exile level spot removal.
You know, there might always be a Snapcaster Mage or something that he can hit.
Or maybe even his own.
Yeah.
Get ahead and land.
Super Series Standard. Welcome to round 6. You may begin.
So Sammy hasn't found anything that he really wants to surgically extract here. He wants to hit Scape Shift, maybe even Cryptic Command, or of course like a Valakut.
Oh.
What is he hitting? The
Tech edging is that a
Stomping
stomping ground?
If that's a target, right?
Okay. And there's a Surgical Extraction. Did you hear what he named?
I didn't, but I'm pretty sure he hit Stomping Ground with it. Yeah, it's just non-basic. You can't hit basic lands, but you can hit regular ones. And that's it.
Stomping Ground.
Wow.
Yeah. He named Stomping Ground, and Sharfman says, well, now I can't win. And that was it.
It's 4 of my mountains.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that was a decidedly good sideboard card, apparently. Tech
So-
Edge your Stomping
So that
Ground,
leaves
hit it.
him 6 mountains in his deck, right?
I think actually he has 9? Yeah, it's like he has 9 or 10, so yeah.
So 6, and so he could do, with 2 Valakuts, he could hit
With both
24.
like, under optimal conditions.
Yeah. So blue, white, red control. Sammy Tukeman on to the finals, awaiting the winner of Eric Froelich playing Vengeance Jund and Nathan Holiday playing the dreaded eggs.
That is the proper tone of voice to use for eggs. Are we going to watch them, Rashad? I mean, I kind of do, yeah. I'm a glutton for punishment. Bring it on. Are we in the middle of going off here? It looks like it.
Kept in like the pass, but I wasn't sure if you were gonna switch it.
It's the same game we were watching before. That looked so good there for.
It did, but now all of a sudden it looks
For
like a
Eric.
reshape. Maybe he went for the reshape and hit. Is that possible?
I guess so.
Just top forward it like a boss? I'm not sure, but he has an active Lotus Bloom now, and that other one we saw before is still at 2. That wasn't the one that he suspended. And he bricks on a Ghost Quarter.
So weird. We're getting accurate life totals.
Agenda has been what we've been calling it.
What's that?
Agenda is what we've been calling
Okay,
it.
so his whole entire hand are recursion effects now, I think.
Feel free to set it off with hyphens to accentuate.
Gotcha.
He might not be able to go off here. He might.
He's only got the one
So it doesn't look like
drop. All right, so here he goes. He's trying to dig through the top 4 again.
He's like, oh, is there an island up here?
No basic land. He needs any basic in the top, and he can't find one.
And he has to shuffle each time. It's not even like he's digging
No,
to it.
it's not. He gets to redo it. He does have a trigger from the Elsewhere Flask still on the stack here, but
14
I mean, he can keep going, but he's not getting anywhere. He's not drawing extra cards. He's got a. Oh yeah, that's right. He has those 2 ley lines as well. So he has, I believe, 2 Faith's Reward in hand. There's a chromatic, but he can't do both. He's only got the 4 mana unless he has mana floating that we don't know about. Even Mind Sensor doing work.
You got it. You got it.
Leyline of Sanctity, go. He's like, nope. Let's do it again.
Run it back.
Oh, but probably you have to draw cards. Yeah.
He's reminded gently that in order for him to combo, he has to draw cards. And he says, I know.
Oh, Eric reminded him?
So
He really just wants to find one more land here? But I mean,
he needs to do both. I mean,
he's going to just be out of gas when he's done with all this.
yeah, it's tough because I mean, he really needs to do that. I guess he figures that things are.
Wow.
Wow, he just completely bricked again. Now we did see that he's got an Echoing Truth there from his sideboard, which he wouldn't mind drawing off this Elsewhere Flask. But even then, he's stuck on mana. He can only has enough mana here to get it back. So.
Maybe we should go this way. Nope, there's a rock over there. How about we go this way? Oh, no, that's a hard place.
Yep.
All right, let's try this again.
Maybe he'll just play the ley line. Faith's Reward. I think that was his last one, though. His last way to do this loop.
He's still got 2 ley lines of Sanctity.
Yeah, and he's got a Chromatic Sphere, a star, and another Chromatic Star, I think. Efro's got to be loving this, by the way. Like, watching the Eggs player just in torture. Oh, he's drawn a land.
There was the land on top.
But that's not where he... This is the first time he did it in that order, too. And he can't play it. He's already played his land for the turn.
Maybe there's 2. But he still doesn't have another card.
But he doesn't have. Yeah, that's the problem, is that he needs to get momentum going forward on the card draw. Right now, he's been drawing 1 card off of Elsewhere Flask each time, but he needs to start drawing 2, 3, 4, 5 to actually combo off here. He also needs to be adding to his mana actively, and he's been stuck at 3 for a while here. All right, here come the dice that let us know he made blue mana, so he's got 3 floating. 2. Sack it, draw a card. Obviously another land. Now that was a non-basic, so that would not have worked anyway. Down to 1. Draw a card. And it is, I believe, he doesn't have any white right now. He can turn... Is he just packing?
Yeah,
it in?
he's just packing it in because he's got 4, and then the extra damage from.
So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's bad enough the first time.
He's not quite dead.
Yeah, it was interesting, but I guess he had had enough.
Yeah.
Put his hand in the scrambler, and you don't do that. Dangerous.
Yeah, I mean.
So we're gonna get a game 3 then out of these two.
It was not a.
A little bit of a grimace on Nathan Holliday's face.
That probably hasn't happened to him a whole lot this weekend. You know, if you're the eggs deck in the format or in the field that makes it to the semifinals, you've generally gone off and gotten there. Players are chatting about the game. Everybody's got an opinion on the eggs deck.
Yeah. Neither of them like it.
No, they're just talking about it.
Let me see the deck list. I hope so.
So
No. Sideboard.
Nathan Holliday will be on the play in game 3.
He will, which is certainly a huge deal. He can get the Lotus Bloom out of his hand and out of range of any of the discard spells that Ifro is going to play. Although, you know, in that last game, Ifro did not have a turn 1 play. He did not have a turn 2 play. He nabbed a tapped
Yeah, you board 1 mountain.
Ghost Quarter with a Fulminator Mage, and then played Aven Mind Sensor, which kind of locked things down, even though Nathan was able to play 3, 4, 5 recursion effects in that one turn. He wasn't able to get anywhere with it.
I mean, when you're cracking your eggs before you, because you don't ever save them. Yeah, that was the problem.
I had
I'll let you know that there's 5
I
minutes
could draw
left.
any other card in my deck. I was in
Sign up
Valakut.
on any
I can
of
double
our
skate
side
it
events.
to like stop him and
Still 5 more minutes after that. All of our side
next
events
turn
will
on
be
Drew Stomping
closed.
Ground, which is like the last mountain.
Again, if you wish to sign up for any side events, there's 5 minutes left before
I got a vote.
we close all side events for the weekend.
Things are winding down here in San Diego. We're in our last semifinal match.
Feels like a while. Yeah.
David Sharfman's like, man, I'm not ready to leave yet. I'm just gonna hang around for a little while. Watch this sweet eggs deck.
This is the standard post-tournament story. He's telling him what happened. Gave himself the sad trombone, the wah-wah.
Yeah.
Not a bad showing though for Dave Sharp.
No, not at all. But yeah,
Invite to the Pro
surgical
Tour.
extract
Yeah.
out your mountains.
Yep. Your stomping grounds
Yeah.
in this case. And,
Yeah, 4 of them doesn't leave you enough room to
You know,
to
Sharfman
kill.
knew right away too. He's just like, oh no, that's it.
And he might have already had a mountain or 2 in play. I'm not otherwise. I'm not even sure. So.
Yeah. All right, players are looking at their opening 7. Can Ifro make it to the finals or eggs?
Then we see a player go, ooh, what's he got?
Yeah, those cards all look the same. Again, Nathan Holliday is on the play here. It's a huge deal for a combo deck like eggs.
I mean, he's got that critical Lotus Bloom in hand.
He
I mean,
does.
that's the thing you want to see, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's got 2 of them as well, but really getting that one suspended and out of the way is great, and he does exactly that. Has a land drop and a
All right, Eric Froelich, I present to you your clock.
Yes. Eric draws an Aven Mind Sensor for the turn. I see that he's got a Dark Confidant as well. Does he have a turn 1 discard spell? Nope. Chip's turn back. Both of the Lotus Blooms tick-tock. Elsewhere Flask for Nathan Holliday. He's going to crack a Scalding Tarn, and he can play the Flask. I think he's got another Chromatic Sphere, and he can do that if you'd like. Probably just going to run the flask out there.
Attention players. We
No
need
ghost
one
quarter
more
or
for a
another fetch
$20
line, I
booster
don't think,
draft.
for
Looking
Nathan
for
here.
one
He's
more
got a
player,
reshape in
$20 booster
hand.
draft.
He doesn't have any recursion spells.
Right.
There's no second sunrise right now in his hand.
But
No
he's
face
going to get to
forward.
dig, 3 or 4 cards deep over the next 2 turns.
And in this turn, if he wants to play the flask, he can do it. He can crack the sphere if he wants. He's going to want to leave that in play. All right, so he's going to play a sphere.
Yep.
Play a sphere. And just say go.
Eric about to play his second land of the game.
14, your event is ready at the pillar in front of the side event stage. $10 draft number 14. Please meet your judge at the pillar in front of the side event stage.
That's not our draft that they just called, is it? Look, we might be able to finish one.
I mean, this is pretty rare, by the way. I mean, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
And we're going to actually get to eat in the restaurant of our choice tonight.
No
It's not like, we don't have to, go to the old Denny's slogan, hey, we're open.
Dark Confidant for Eric Froelich. And, ooh, we were just talking about how Nathan Holiday didn't have any recursion effects in hand. He just drew one.
Oh, he just drew 2.
Another one. So he's got basically all the pieces that he needs. He could use a Ghost Quarter here, but... All right, even Mind Sensor. And a Tarmogoyf. But those Lotus Blooms are looming on the horizon. Eric knows that Nathan's going to be gearing up to go off on his turn.
Attack you with Dark Confidant. And say
And
go.
He just passes the turn back. It looks like he's going to go for an Aven Mind Sensor, but Nathan doesn't have searchy stuff right now at all.
There's 2.
All right, so he has 2 Lotus Blooms. Well, he drew his Pyrite Spellbomb, which, it's not even really what you want right now, but he can just also use it to loop till he's for sure that he's going to go infinite. So there is a reshape in hand for Nathan. If he does try to go for a reshape for some reason, then Efro can get him with the Mind Sensor potentially.
Gets out the Gabe Carlton Barnes mana counters.
Is that what those are?
Apparently Gabe innovated that.
Innovation?
That's a GCB innovation on camera.
I wouldn't be surprised. The guy's an innovator.
All right, he's got a fistful of.
Your postings are up for the 3rd round. 2-headed giant postings for round 3. Pairings have been posted.
Is he gonna reshape his flask or?
I'm assuming that most of our listeners are just coming back after getting the sandwich that they were going to go get after they saw that we had eggs in the feature match. But all right, Elsewhere Flask, draw a card.
Players in Super Sunday Seal.
Crack both of these things, and here we go.
Pairings for round 7.
Make 6
are
white
posted.
mana.
Please find your table.
Crack both Elsewhere Flasks and play the first of what is going to be many second sunrises and faiths rewards. Everything's
Draw
coming
1,
back.
2. Right, so he's on a 4. He's on a.
So that stays in his yard. That was an earlier play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, Efro would have responded.
$10 draft number 14.
So 2 card draws from the Elsewhere Flask.
Your vintage ready at the side of the stage.
He has the 2 Lotus Blooms going plus 3 white mana already floating. A little bit of counting here.
Right, with it. So without the Ghost Quarter, without the fetch land going, he's not really thinning his deck.
No, he's not. He's not at all.
Attention players, booster draft number 15, $20 booster
I mean,
draft
in that
number
he's just
15,
drawing a bunch of
vintage
cards.
ready at the stage.
Right, but he's not thinning lands out of his deck on every cycle.
He's not.
So he starts making 2 separate piles.
He is going
so
to need to draw one of those things to start getting the mana engine going. Efro just chucks the mindset on the table like, had it. All right, so Reshape is going to search the top. All right, so this is with this on the stack, right? No, he just killed it. He just killed it with the Prior Spellbomb. All right. So Reshape is going to be full value here. Lotus Bloom, so that'll help get you ahead on mana. Again, and we see Efro's Mets hat might be full of tears in a little few minutes here. So now he gets to sit here and watch. Again, I am appreciative, though. Nathan has
Once again, players,
he's been playing very
$10
briskly
draft number
for the most
14,
part here in the
$20
feature
draft
match area,
number
and that's
15
nice.
already at the
That's nice
sign-up
for us.
stage. Please come and meet your judges. $10
And there's the
draft
ghost quarter.
14,
And there is the ghost
$20
quarter,
draft
yeah.
15.
They're talking about whether or not he played a land already this turn.
I think so, yeah. And he hadn't, so here he goes.
We're currently looking for
The coast is clear.
Chris
Ephro's
Froelich.
tapped out. The virtual F6
Chris
button has been
Yeah.
pressed, and
Draft is waiting
Nathan
for you.
Holiday
Chris Wise.
is clean to go. So Ephro just has to sit back and watch now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the proper thing to do, especially at this high-level event. You got to make your opponent beat you. The signs are pointing decidedly towards Nathan Holiday winning at this point, but stranger things have happened, so... And heck, maybe he just screws it up royally, right? That happens too. Although the guy that makes it all the way to the semifinals is
Attention,
less
players, at this time,
likely
this
to
is
do
the
that.
last call for any standard or modern winner boxes for the
So
evening.
Thins with
Last
another-
sign up if you want to play standard or modern
Another
winner box.
reshape.
Also,
So he's gonna get-
He's gonna get the bobble.
Yep, so he wants the card draw. He's got the ghost quarter engine going. He's got he's got like 3 Lotus Blooms going. Now he just wants to make sure that he bolsters up that card draw so that when he starts going through, he's going to get through his deck as quickly as possible. Conjurer's Bubble is going to bring back the second Sunrise, crack this, make 3 blue, add 1, and yeah, he is in full go-off mode. So now the question is, how long can Ephro stand to stare at this? We saw Kibler put in a good effort, but then say, okay, we've had enough. Nathan's making sure that he's doing everything right here. Elsewhere Flask. Draw a card. He's got some, I'm assuming, useless Echoing Truths here.
Oh, your Aven Mind Sensor comes back, he reminds him, because that's second Sunrise and not Fate's Reward.
Right. Right, all right.
I mean,
Nathan
whatever.
has also the Pyrite Spellbomb.
He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I can afford to be magnanimous here.
Heck, he might even just Echoing Truth it so he doesn't have to deal with it. Because he can also just Spellbomb it each time if he needs to.
And that's what he's going to do. Nope. Changed my mind. Has he drawn his cards?
I think the Elsewhere Flask triggers are on the stack.
Okay. Right, because he might want to Ghost Quarter himself in response.
Yes, he wants to do a lot of these things first. He's getting stuff back.
Yep.
He's going to shuffle this in now with Ghost Quarter. That way he has a chance to draw it. And then he's going to draw 3 off of Flask, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra draws lined up. And he's looking in great shape to make the finals here in San Diego.
Yeah. Sharfman's deck goes by the wayside. And we're going to be Sharfman-Tukeman, I think.
You never want to call it too soon.
Versus
but,
Nathan.
We also don't want to be dishonest. Like it's really hard for Nathan to fizzle at this point. See, his hand is just getting huge. He's got to set it down on the table.
He's just playing with his hand face up.
I think his hands are just getting really tired.
Yeah.
And Eric Froelich says, I've seen enough, extends the hand, and Nathan Holiday does, in fact, advance to the finals here in San Diego.
And there you have your bracket. Sharfman-Tukeman, who defeated the robot deck of Brian Delatorre, who defeated the Scape Shift deck of David Sharfman, will face off in the finals against Nathan Holiday, who's, by the way, let's talk about the competition that Nathan Holiday has taken down along the way.
Look at that. Nice bracket.
He just